I've been playing baseball since I was in second grade. I've never seen the first pitch go for an in the park home run, possibly, and my man's was thrown out. So that set the tone for the whole day. They even trusted us to deliver our full personality. And that's what they want. And by golly, that's what they about to get. A collaboration with Jay-Z and the New York Yankees.
Ooh. Oh.
Miami Marlins and Rick Ross.
A lot of people don't know your story, Jarvis.
They don't.
A lot of people don't know what you've been through.
People, the buck was never in my plans. I don't have time to dwell. We got to move on.
How was your jumbo shrimp game opener?
Oh, man. It was...
What pushes Jarvis to keep going?
I won't give you the answer that everybody who does know me know.
Life too short.
Way too short. Way too short. Facts. Yo, keep it a buck. We back. It's your boy Jarvis.
It's your boy Josh.
And we back again. How you doing, dog?
Feeling good, man.
Hey, we've been busy.
Ooh, we've been in the lab.
We've been busy.
We really have been in the lab this time.
Nah, we have for real. But good to be back, though. I feel like it's been a while. But we here. We ready to work. Talk to me.
I'm excited. I got something for you today.
Meow, meow, meow. J.E.'s Q&A. Yes, sir. This a hit, by the way.
Hey, let's jump right to this one.
Let's do it.
How was your jumbo shrimp game opener?
Oh, man. The opener was...
We want to know, by the way, too.
You want to know how the opener was?
Huh?
Oh, want to know. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm
right?
saying,
Facts.
how was your jumbo shrimp game opener?
First off, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. The love we were shown all throughout the park. And that's my first time seeing the park with all the upgrades. The upgrades were crazy. What's to come is crazy with the rooftop bar coming over in right field. The excitement, the people, the staff. The staff is top notch. And again, Noel, Harold, man, we appreciate the opportunity. Clay, great to meet her.
Shout out to Clay.
This was awesome. It was awesome. And they won. They won home runs everywhere. The first pitch, my man, we were, obviously we started off because we're home. First pitch was thrown. It hit it all the way out to the outfield. Went to throw it back in, but it went for an in the park home run.
Yeah.
Like off
it was
real.
Crazy.
First play here, my man went for an in the park home run and was gunned down. Blow. That was awesome. Like for that to be a first play, I've been playing baseball since I was in second grade. I've never seen the first pitch go for an in the park home run, possibly, and my man's was thrown out. So that set the tone for the whole day. And they won. And I'm deep down, I am a Yankees fan. And that's the Red Sox, the Worcester Red Sox or whatever. So I don't like them at all.
It's personal.
So good job, Jumbo Street. Yeah, how was yours, dog?
No, it was good, man.
Yeah. We had the family there.
It's been a while since I've been to a game, so it was dope. The renovations there was crazy.
Yeah, they went crazy.
Was good. Jumbo screen was nice.
We about to go in.
Food was good.
They got Impossible hot dogs. And they know I don't eat beef or pork.
So
I needed that.
So you like the glizzy? You needed the glizzy?
Next question. Here we go. I knew
Wow.
The glizz.
The glizzy boy.
Wow. I had slaw on my glizz too.
Wow.
I did.
Slow down. We didn't ask what you added on your glizzy.
I had slaw on my glizz too. It was a little wet slaw. Wet slaw on the glizz. It was good though. It was good though.
Wow. Okay. Moving on. What are you most excited about with the Jumbo Shrimp partnership?
I think they're about to get they even trusted us to deliver our full personality. And that's what they want. And by golly, that's what they about to get. Like, they gonna get our personality. You know what I mean? Like, we chill, we about the community, but, we about culture. But at the same time, we number one, we about having fun, and we about doing it in an appropriate way to be able to bring all of that into a formidable display of interaction with fans, with the staff being in support of us, everybody smiling, everybody having a good time. That's our world. That's right up our alley. So I'm excited to fit right in and to let it be seen. We about to go to work. Promise you that. Promise you that.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay. Who would be your dream collab with the Keep It a Buck pod?
Wow. My dream collab or our dream collab? Because that's a difference.
Your dream collab.
My personal dream collaboration?
Yeah.
Man. Oh, that was a good one. Man, we really don't prep this stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because automatically I'm thinking of like a sports team, but then I get to thinking too, I'm like, nah. My dream collaboration, can I do like a 2-part collab? My dream collaboration would be for Keep It a Buck to do a collaboration with Jay-Z and the New York Yankees.
Ooh, Hove.
That would be crazy. If they had some type of, event that maybe like, talked about the history of the Yankees, you know what I'm saying? And maybe Jay had a little part in that, how he put the Yankees on through music, and through apparel and all that stuff. And they maybe shot a little something, you know what I mean? And we had a chance to kind of collab and be a part of that. That'd be crazy. Yankees and Jay-Z together.
That'd be wild.
That'd be hard. And then I got to do one more. I got to bring it down south. And obviously the Jumbo Shrimp are part of the Marlins affiliation, right? I would want to do a collaboration with like a Miami Marlins and, I'm trying to think who in like hip hop I would want to do a collab with. I was about to say Trick Daddy, but Trick might be too wild for me. Trick might be a little too wild for me. Like a Rick Ross, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like a little collaboration like that. Maybe they did like a music video or something at the park and we were part of it or something. But nah, that'd be awesome though. The Jay-Z Yankees collaboration would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be dope.
That's dope.
That'd be dope.
Got another good question for you.
Because
a lot of people don't know your story, Jarvis.
They don't.
A lot of people don't know what you've been through. My dog done been through a lot. When you feel like giving up, what keeps you going? What pushes Jarvis to keep going?
I won't be one of I won't give you the answer that everybody who does know me know, and it's the boys, right? So I give a different answer. The time, man. The time we got to live. You can't waste it. Can't waste that time. Like, I done been through a lot. I done had people, exit my life, enter my life, exit my life, ruin my life, if you will. I done ruin my own life sometimes. People I can't trust. And again, I ain't been able to trust myself a couple of times, but when you start going through stuff and you start to really understand, like I'm 37. I was just 21. No, like literally like 5 minutes ago. And now you think I'm going to blink again? Be 54 or something, and blink again, I'll be 70. It's about to go by fast. My kid is literally 3 years away from leaving my house. So it's like, it's the time. I don't have time to dwell. So most people who get into, talks with me or spells with me, they always look at me and they go, like you get over things quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, it don't hurt, when you go through stuff, but at time. I ain't got time to dwell though. We got to move on, Got to move on.
Life too short.
Way too short. Way too short. Facts.
All right.
Facts.
Last one.
Even though I'm going to live forever.
Is seeing it, believing it, or is believing it, there's no need to be seen?
Man, what? Say that again.
Okay. Is seeing it, believing it, or believing it, there's no need to be seen?
Okay. Seeing it, is it either or?
Yeah.
Okay. Seeing it is believing it because you saw it. So that's like proof. Believing it without it needing to be seen?
Correct.
That's faith. So you saying which one is it or which one would I rather have?
What I'm saying is, do you need to see it to believe it in a nutshell?
No. That's great. That's a great
simpler term.
Yeah. No. Absolutely not. There's no, as a matter of fact, you might be in a world of hurt if you have to see something to believe it. Like again, I just keep going back to you. There's no way you always saw University of Florida, Jacksonville Jaguars. You may have saw a variation of it. You may have saw, another team, but certain things happen that ain't in our plans. You know what I'm saying? And when they're not in your plan, keep it a buck was never in my plans, you know? But I believe that there was always something formidable in communications and social, you know, interactions that I would be able to do. I just didn't know what it was, you know? So you put that work in and you know, based on your beliefs, based on your faith, and, you know, things start showing up. But seeing it is proof, you know? Once you believe it, then you'll eventually see it. And if we don't see it, somebody gonna see it. But we might be gone by the time it's
safe
seen.
to say you have to believe things you can't see.
Facts. You have to. You have to. Like, if you knew what it took to get somewhere, if you knew how it was gonna look, you'd never do it. If you knew how much you had to run to be a third stringer in the NFL, if you, to work out, run, train, if you knew how much it took just to be a third stringer in the NFL, and let's say that person gets hurt in year one and they're done for good, right? Forever. They can't play football no more after 1 year. If somebody told you from the age of 11, when they started playing, to 21, hey, you're going to go through these 10 years, you're going to get to the NFL, and you're going to bust your knee up, and you're going to be done at 21. You're not going to get any money from it because, you know, you're going to get whatever check that you made.
You're done.
You're done. If you knew that was going to happen and you saw it first, I'm not doing it. I'm going somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't live off just that. You got to believe it. You got to dig deep and understand it, get dark about it, you know, let it become a part of you, your passion, or whatever it is. And then from there, you know, whatever God has for you, he has for you. You know, but you got to have faith in the very beginning. Got to have faith.
Cool.
Things can't move without faith. Speaking of believing and seeing, believing, it's been on my mind, man. I saw a podcast the other day. It's a father and son podcast. And that father and son podcast was interesting because, you know, the dad asked the kid he asked that one question that we all wanted to ask our kids. Every single one of us. He asked him, he says, son, when I get on to you and I tell you to work out, mind you, his kid is like, I think the number one recruit, like the number one, like 6th or 7th grader in the country, like based on, you know, certain little things or whatever, little rankings. He literally goes, when I tell you to work out, when I tell you to, you know, push yourself, when I get on to you about your technique, why do you shut down on me? Why do you not see it as me wanting you to get better? Why do you get upset with me? Why do you get mad with me? Why do you waste an entire training session or a day being so upset with me and you know I'm trying to help you out? My man sat right there, little kid said, nothing, ain't say nothing. And so you could tell they edited it to where he probably ain't, you know, it was probably a long bunch of silence. He probably got mad like I would, like, hey man, like, you know, when the camera's on, you got to talk. He probably did some junk like that. I'd do that. But he did that, and it was, the kid finally said, because I think I don't believe in myself to do it, and then you get mad at me, you know, for not doing it exactly how you want. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, that's wild that he actually even opened up and said that. So I guess I want to talk about today is, when do we ever know that the limit to push your kids for greatness, whether it's sports, whether it's academics, whether it's music, you know, artistry? What's that limit? How do we, everybody's different, right? But how do we know? How do you know when to push your kids? Your oldest is 5. So you haven't run into all of that yet. Right. But when do you think you would know, like, there's a limit, like when to stop or when to exert and push more? When do you think you would know that?
I think everybody's situation is different. Right. And it's so hard to pinpoint because we got to acknowledge we live in a different era now. Right. These children ain't built how we were built, right? And back then, right? Like if you looked at some of the things I've been through as a kid, people might have looked at me and said that was harsh or that was too tough, or they cursed, they yelled at him. He's only 9. You're not supposed to do that. Whereas in this age, is like, kids a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more emotional. You can't do this. And this ain't to say some kids ain't got some grit to them too. But I'll say that the biggest thing, one thing I kind of learned from my dad, he was never overly aggressive or like forced the sport.
Right.
He allowed me to love the game. Right. And that was the biggest thing. And I think sometimes parents could be a little too hypocritical where you're pushing the child too much. At some point, the child gotta want to do it. The child gotta love the game just as much. So I think it's that thin line. I think once you realizing that it's hard to be dad and coach, and my kids are able to reciprocate what I'm doing, because I'll see it even at my gym where some kids won't get it from their dad, but they come to the gym and they get it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes I think it's just change. And I think it's parents, definitely dad. Sometimes you got to take that step back and acknowledge that and say, you know what? I can be dad, I can be coach, but most importantly, I can be understanding on how my child developed.
I'll say this, I get nervous sometimes, and I'll admit it. And a lot of parents, I feel like they try to have this, this aura about them to where they just know what they're doing. Half the time, you don't know what you're doing. We don't know what we're doing because it's all different. Like you just said, you cannot raise, and you will not likely raise your daughter exactly how you were raised. Right. As far as you can't. Right? Can't. They're going to hate you.
It's no way.
And every generation going back, it's been that for that generation. It's like our parents, when they were young, our parents their parents said, y'all soft, y'all probably, y'all a little cushion, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all, right. How my coach used to say, what's up, Coach Logan? He used to say, Duncan Hines. Y'all soft, y'all moist like Duncan Hines. Like, for real. Hey, for real though.
Y'all was moist, bro?
No, he used to tell people in the team, like, hey, boy, look, y'all boy moist, boy. Yeah. Y'all boy Duncan Hines, what I'm going to call you.
Come on.
Coach Logan, what's up, man? Nah, that's my guy. But and every single situation is different, but it's like I get scared because I'm like, it's the if. If right. I don't push my son to a limit, a certain limit, I'm going to lose out on that time. I'm going to lose out on those efforts and what they could have been. But if I push them, likely you have to sacrifice something.
Sure.
You got to sacrifice a piece of your relationship that he sees as father and son. And anybody who looking right now and saying like, no, you can have both. You can have both, but I promise you a percentage is going to go down. With everybody who makes it, I ain't saying every single person, but the majority of people who make it to be professionals and they become like a small percentage of their profession in the world, not in the city, in the world, right. they likely were pushed to a limit to where they don't see their parents the same way as the other 99% see theirs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it scares me a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, I want to get Joan out there and, hey man, run, jump, sprint, backpedal, whatever.
Right.
And it's like, but I look at him and I'm like, I want to be dad first. So that is how I go about it. I want to be dad first. And sometimes I go, you know what? I might be sacrificing, the amount of success he may have in football, but it's not to say that it can't come from somewhere else. You know what I mean? So do you think it's different in sports though? Like pushing in sports opposed to pushing in, chemistry or pushing into being a doctor or something like that?
Honestly, it depends on the parent agenda. I think when the parent has an agenda as in I'm going to live through my child.
Ooh, that's a big one. Yeah,
right? Like if your all in be all is for my child to make it in order for me to reach a certain lifestyle, right? Or financial gain, like it's no stopping. It's to no return. Because whether the kid like it or not, as that parent, you're going to push through, right?
Boy said to no return. It's crazy. That's true.
When the agenda is an all in be all where it gotta be sports, you're a little bit more comfortable. You get what I'm saying? Right. So where I'm gonna push sports on it, but I'm also let you know it's more than sports. Like, right. You get what I'm saying? Get a good education, learn things, learn real estate, learn things outside the game, like kind of having a good balance. So I would be more big on the balance spectrum instead of being overly aggressive with the sport. However, you do got to teach definitely our boys mental toughness. They got to have that. You got to have mental toughness. You can't grow up definitely as a black man in America and don't got no mental toughness.
Facts.
It's not going to go your way sometime. And I look back at my younger self, if I'm being honest, and this confession on the Keep It a Buck pod, like I'm obsessed with people telling me what I can't do. because that's what I've been told as a young kid. Like,
he ain't lying.
I'm obsessed. Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
They told me I wasn't fast enough. They told me I wasn't strong enough. They told me I'd never be as good as my brother. I'm not this. I'm not like, and I thrive off that, right? Like I thrive off negative energy.
Yeah.
And I look at this stuff and it's like, damn, you know, my brother who was probably, you know, who's my worst critic and some of the things he said to me, to be honest, I don't know if I'd have had that fighting power if he wasn't like that with me. And I'm not agreeing to say that everything he said is something, because he can't be like that with his son. You see what I'm saying? It won't work. You get what I'm saying? With some of the things you might have said. But what I'm saying is my obsession was, I want to be the best, right? My obsession was, I want to be everything you think I can't be. Whereas in this era, you say certain things to these kids, they might break down. They might, like, that's not going to get EJ going. It's probably not going to get Jonah going to say, but Dad, you called me this, or you said this, or you said that. Like, they're going to be 12 o'clock at night. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm going to quit. This ain't for me. I'm done. I'm checked out.
I will say this. I give him so much credit. He's matured in front of my face, because there was a point that, and I wasn't one of those football dads that like you got to do this, you got to do that, make it like this, make it like that, you know, run here, do it. Like, I wasn't like that. I was just more so, big dog, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it 100%. Like, that's something you're going to do. Like, don't step into the booth and give, you know, 80% just because you don't feel like, don't let somebody else get in there. You know, there's other people that need that shot, need that spotlight. And so if you're going to do it, like, go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, go all the way through. But at the same time, I realized that in transition, we get to a certain point where, and boy, this pause is deep, where our voice doesn't mean what it used to mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are dad. You are, as a matter of fact, the love goes higher. But the immediate influence of your voice and your words, it stops meaning what it used to mean. And it's almost now it's time for somebody to step in and do it. And that's usually a coach or a teacher or an instructor. You know what I mean? And one thing that parents have a hard time in dealing with, like this situation today, they don't want to relinquish that voice. That's the transitional part that separates, in my opinion, you know, a top, you know, I was about to say sports, but I'm just going to do something different. A doggone Nobel Prize winner, you know, from an associate vice president or something like that at a company. Like, what separates those two powerhouses, because being an AVP for a company is great. You know what I'm saying? Let me do it like this. Being the president of the United States, most of the time, they're like usually lawyers, you know what I'm saying? Or they're like high-level business folks. You know, in order to get there, I guarantee you their parents' voice didn't mean as much towards the end. It meant something, but someone else, you know, had to get you over that hump. Right. You get to the point, I get to telling my boy, I'm like, hey, look, I'm laughing because it makes me sick, because I don't want to relinquish it. It's like, hey, look, you got to go outside and you got to, like, you know, run on your own. Right. You know, you got to lift on your own. You got to do, you know, plyometrics on your own and calisthenics on your own. And he's like, he don't get it. But let coach over there at the high school say the same thing. Right. He going to be on it. Facts. You know what I'm saying? He going to be on it. So that's that part. Do you feel like that voice that you have, do you feel like you'll be able to relinquish that when it's time to? Or was it relinquished for you and your parents growing up? Or was there another voice that like kind of took over, you know, the deeper meaning of where you wanted to go?
A little bit of both. Like I said, my dad was never aggressive. Like, my brother was always the one good was never good enough. One of my best games was not impressive to him, right? I done threw 3 touchdowns, ran 2 touchdowns, caught a pick. It was normal. And it was like the world. You see what I'm saying? It was like, it was never, so that kind of kept me in a place like, damn, bro, like, what'd it take to impress you? And I think having that balance of, it meant the world to my dad, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, he was happy. He was excited. Oh, you know, Josh did this. So it was like, I had that, my dad being my biggest fan, and then I had my brother kind of like, all right, like, what's next? And I think part of that, he kind of knew, like, it's fire, but I can't give you too much. You get what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give you too much. But kind of circling back, I think a dad come with so many labels, right? because you're a dad, you're a coach, you're a contractor, you're a builder, right? Financial advisor, like you're so many things. And I think kids tend to tap out when your relationship with your kid is just sports only. I don't like that, right?
Hate it.
I can't sit here and teach you how to backpedal, get in and out of your brakes, but I'm not teaching you life. I can't sit here and my child is now 18, 19 years old and the only thing he learned from me was football.
Or he can't hang out with you.
Right. You get like we have nothing else outside of that. So it's about relationship because I'm more than a dad. I got so many titles and so many labels that come with who I am. And I also want my child or my daughter, even her. You get what I'm saying? When she get into the sports is like at some point you gotta want this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You gotta want it. The parent can never want it more than the child.
Yeah.
But as a parent, it's your job to show them the importance, what it takes, the hard work. And part of that obsession is not so much about being obsessed with being talented. I want you to be obsessed with the work ethic. And I think that's what this generation lacks the most. Nobody really want to work that hard for it. You want to be good. You want to go show up at a track meet,
everything that's on TV, YouTube, everything.
You want to just be good. And you don't factor in that it took years of this. I think the owner of Starbucks, I think he was told 217 times no. Nobody spend more than I think $1 for coffee, right?
Right.
How many times do you got to be told you're not good enough? How many times do you got to be told this and that for it to click and say, I need to get in the lab or I need to get better. I need to take this criticism and really get to it. And sometimes maybe it's a bit much coming from the dad. Maybe it need to be heard from somebody else. Maybe the dad is doing everything and the child just kind of still looking at him like,
you can't tell yet. I hate this.
Like that. I'm not feeling it. Like
can you not see that? Like I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like come on, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you say So you said real quick before we wrap it up. You said your brother was your worst critic. Chill. Don't pick on me.
Yeah.
Your worst critic.
Yes.
Essentially, because he created in you the notion of I don't like being told what I can't do, correct?
Correct.
So was he your worst critic? Or was he eventually or essentially your best critic? Since he created that in you, do you think you would have been able to make it to the NFL and make it to Florida without that extra push? I mean, you'll never know, but I'm just saying.
That's actually a really, really good, good question.
Devil's advocate a little bit. I'm on your side, bro. I feel what you're talking about. I'm just kidding.
I say a little bit of both because the way he went about it could have been better. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think it could have been healthier ways to where you could have still maxed me out. You get what I'm saying? I still was able to have the production of with that. And I think he's real hard and stern with certain things, looking a certain way and being a certain way. Right. And I think that comes because our lifestyles are different. So like I started when I was 9 and he started when I think he was like 11. So like day one for him, he was good. You get what I'm saying? He got in football and kind of was pretty good and kind of did everything. Me starting at 9, I was a little behind, right? I'm learning the game of football. I'm moving around. So like my success wasn't his from the start. But I will say I was the epitome of work ethic. I was looking at, okay, I can't do this. I can't do that. How do I become this? How to become that? And we come from a real competitive household. But yeah, I could say the worst critic that became the good critic because a part of me needed that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
A part of me needed to be humble. A part of me needed to be told that I wasn't good enough. And in a weird way, like I said, I'm obsessed with the negative stuff. So like when you tell me I can't do something, bet, right? If you tell like even with the hurdles, like he ain't gonna be able to do the hurdles, right?
Why?
I wasn't a hurdler. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't even a track guy. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even that fast when I first got to high school.
What you ran? 40.
Won the meter champions, indoor, outdoor, state champion, 5th in the nation. Like that's what
you said. You wasn't that fast. Oh, you wasn't that fast, and then
I won. So when I first got there, I won that fast.
5th in the nation.
5th in the nation. My time. I ran track at UF my freshman year. A lot of people didn't know I ran at UF.
Found that out yesterday.
You see what I'm saying? So like these are the things of just me, what thrive me. I ain't saying it's healthy. I got a lot of unhealthy characteristics of being told what I can't do. I'm obsessed with that. Even the workforce, even outside the game of football. Like you tell me I can't do something and that kind of get me going.
You want to partner with Keep It a Buck and you tell us no, we coming after you. Trust me, I promise. We're not accepting no. 208, we had 217 by the Starbucks owner.
Okay, yeah.
218 for us. I'm telling you, you better come with the nose. All right, real quick, a little focal point on this subject, because it's a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of things that is right, that are wrong, but at the end of the day, this whole parenting situation is looked at in one simple, outlook, to be able to do your best, and that's to just be there. Whether you are in your kid's life and you are super hard on them, or you are lenient and they see you as a pushover, or they have you wrapped around their finger, or whatever it is, just make sure you're there. That's the right and the wrong. There's no right and wrong in how you, raise, or how you, orchestrate how greatness comes about from your child. But the one thing you're not going to be able to do is, the one way you won't be successful is if you're not there. So parents, just be there, period. Whether you like Ja Morant dad and you at every game, or if you got to work, but you make sure pre-game, post-game, your child has everything they need and you're doing your best, I promise you it ends up paying off. It ends up paying off. Deion Sanders' mom literally, could not make any of the games, but everything was handled before and after, while she was working, while she was doing what she had to do. It ended up working out for the best. So just be there for your kids and be in attendance to practice games. Talk to them about what they're going through. If you say the right things, great. If you don't say the right things, cool. You'll be able to fix it along the way. Just make sure you be there. And really quick, as a parent of a 14-year-old, get involved in the sports and the activities and the actual building and the venue and the people that they're going to be interacting with. Okay, that's a big deal. If you have a kid who, he doesn't listen to you no more, she doesn't want to hear your influence anymore, okay, do the next best thing and make sure that the program that they're at, make sure that the association that they play with is one that's going to fulfill them and do them, right when it comes to information, when it comes to what they're going to experience. Okay, so do the next best thing. Don't sulk in, oh, my baby don't talk to me, my baby don't look at me the same way. Do the next best thing and still be in their life, still be there, and make sure that where they're going is suitable and efficient enough for success and for purpose. So it's my 2 cents on that. Big dog, you got anything else?
I think you worded that perfect. Only thing I will add too.
Yes.
For some parents.
Yes.
You also have to accept that sports ain't for everybody.
Hello.
Okay. I see some parents too who might force their son or daughters to play sports, which is cool because I think all kids should be active. But it's not for everybody. And it's okay to accept that. Every kid don't got the athletic ability to be this freakish athlete, to be fast, big, or strong. And sometimes it's probably not what they like to do. There's so much to life and so much other things you can be good at. Right. The thing is, you have to be good at something.
I'm telling you. Which is why I'm not going to jail for 5 years for him to go into the third round. You know what I mean? You go be whatever you want to be. Anywho, got anything else, dog?
Good, man.
Hey, we appreciate y'all. Love, light, and keep it a buck. Yeah. It's your boy Jarvis Williams, a.k.a. Mr. Six. Hey, do me a favor. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to subscribe. I need you to share. I need you to click that notification button. So when we post a new video, the banner come down and you can see it on your phone. We appreciate all y'all support. We love y'all. And make sure you stay keeping it a buck. All right? Let's go.